You may remember a few months ago I made a very silly mistake, and that mistake was doing a pistol only challenge on Verrucht. Now I hate Verrucht because, well, I'm normal. But I didn't want to just do any old pistol challenge, because let's face it, they're a little boring. Instead, I loaded up 4 mods and used the pistols from those to see how far I could get with each assortment of guns. So today, I thought we'd bring that idea back, but instead of pistols, it's shotguns, and instead of Verrucht, it's Origins. World at War, the first Call of Duty I ever played, and it will be the first run in this video. The thing about World at War is there's only 3 shotguns in this entire game, and one of them is just a shorter version of the same gun, that gun being the double barrel. So my choice of weaponry for this one was a little limited. We start off by grinding out some points, and on round 3 I leave spawn without quick revive. The double barrel is thankfully on the wall and we get it bought. I move through the rounds a bit more and get Gen 2 turned on. We head over to Gen 3 where I find the trench gun warbuy, we get that bought too, and then get Gen 3 on. From here I decide to focus on getting the points for speed cola, as my reload speeds are pretty awful if I'm being honest. And at the end of round 6 I get that bought as well. It's also now that I realize I don't have quick revive, but I get that chain sharpish. From here the goal is to get the rest of the generators up and running before the Panzer turns up and ruins my life. However, I'd spent so long getting the points for perks, I was now only 2 rounds away from a date with death, so I panicked. Instead of going for Pack-a-Punch, I went for perks to at least try and keep me safe from what was coming. The Black Ops 3 Panzer is a literal unit and it takes quite a lot to kill him with regular Black Ops 3 guns, so I was less than optimistic for this fight. He spawns in and it's now that I realize my guns have about as much range as a B-list actor, so I got to running. A lot of running, in fact, and a lot of blasting. The double barrel shotgun is my better gun, but I wanted to save the ammo as I didn't have a ton, so I got to using the trench gun, which by the way, sucks in this mod. It was doing an alright job at poking away at the Panzer's health, but it wasn't really doing anything incredible. But then the Giants came a-stomping, and I only went and ran myself into trouble, which resulted in me taking a down. Upon reviving, I was very much in Panicville, but I managed to keep myself alive. I got some more double barrel ammo from a dig site, with full reserves, I focused on the Panzer, and after what felt like a lifetime, he goes down. Annoyingly, that meant I had to go and get all of my perks again, so Pack-a-Punch was pushed aside once more. We got our perks back and finally got all of the generators turned on round 10. After a little bit of point grinding, we had enough points for Pack-a-Punch, and the first gun to be upgraded was the double barrel, and to my disappointment, it had no sound. So yeah, that wasn't annoying for me in the slightest. We got double tap and then started going through the rounds. We got the trench gun Pack-a-Punch shortly later, and when I was trying it out, I downed again, and from that point on my mission was one thing: get the sawn off, because the trench gun was whack. Upon reviving, I got Jug and Widows from the Wonder Fizz. I then got quick revive and speed back, only to see that I can't get any more than 4 perks. In my naive mind, I thought the mod might disable the perk limits, like a lot of the other weapon mods do. I was clearly very wrong. The double barrel carried me through the rounds, and around 20, I finally started trying to get that other shotgun. To my surprise, there is a few extras in the box, and one of those extras, or in this case I should say 4, is the staffs. And I'm not gonna lie, pulling a staff out of the box might be one of the most uncomfortable and cursed things I've seen in zombies. Just, it doesn't sit right with me. Round 20, Gen 4 was being destroyed, so I made my way over, only to be greeted by every zombie, and it's Nan, and in return I ended up taking another down. After reviving, I got a little frustrated and popped a Parker. From here, my hunt for the sawn-off continued. In fact, it continued for many more rounds. We spun the box a whole bunch more and got every single staff and the ray gun Mark II multiple times. But did I get the sawn-off? No. I actually ended up right back at square one with the goddamn trench gun, so my day was going great. At this point in the game, I was a little unhinged, which is great for the first run of the day. The trench gun being back in my possession just made me miserable, so at the beginning of round 26, I tried once more to get the sawn off. I ended up with the lightning staff, and out of frustration, just decimated everything in near vicinity with it. The Templars were back, so off I went, but not only were the Templars here, so was the Panzer, which I didn't know about until he was stood 2 feet in front of me, trying to have his way with me and all that. I panicked, and in turn I took another down. I looked around while sitting there and noticed I was in a zombie sandwich, which basically meant I was dead, and no more than 3 seconds after reviving, that's exactly what I was. I had so much hope for that run, but in the end, it just turned out to be a complete mess. And up next is Modern Warfare 3. It feels weird saying this, considering MW3 is literally the most successful Call of Duty of all time, but I feel like this game is kind of underrated. I mean, with MW2 being as popular as it is and Black Ops 2 releasing the year after MW3 did, I feel like MW3 in a way ended up living in the shadow of both of those games, which sucks because this game is the tits. MW3 also has some pretty interesting shotguns. We have the popular choices in the Spaz 12, Striker and the AA12, but there is also the M1014, the USAS, and the Model 1887s were back, which were the exact guns I wanted for this run. The Spaz 12 is one of the war buys, so I picked it up once I left spawn. I did also have a pack-a-punch pistol, which I got from a drop on round 2, because, you know, this mod has those, so just ignore that, yeah. This run started with me wanting the generators turned on before anything else, but once again, this gun's reload speeds were ancient, so I spent several rounds getting the points for speed cola. I may have also spent a few points on spraying the box, which gave me nothing. The box may have provided a donut, but the wall was offering the KSG, and on round 7 I got it picked up. I actually completely forgot about this gun even being in this game. Round 8 rolls around, and I'm not exactly in the best of positions for this round. However, the KSG hits like a truck, and honestly has no real problems of dealing with the Panzer, and so for once, we had a nice and relaxed round 8. I was running a little slow, and it wasn't until round 10 that all the generators were turned on, but I did have myself a nice set of perks, so things weren't all bad. However, things are about to take a drastic nosedive south. It's round 11 and I'm in need of points for pack-a-punch, so I'm killing zombies and also filling up one of the soul boxes because why not? That's when I end up taking a down. Zombies swarm me, I try my hardest to take them down, but it's no good and I'm the one doing the downing. I revive and leg it to pack-a-punch and upgrade the KSG. It gets a little hectic, I won't lie, but we survive. The next round starts and I get trapped up at the pack-a-punch, but the KSG is putting down zombies left and right, so I'm not worrying. That does until a zombie tanks a headshot from about 6 feet with the KSG, which gives my brain the old bamboozle and I get double teamed from the back and I'm dead, which is just perfect. Not mad about that one at all. But what was coming up would prove to be the best, and that was Cold War shotguns. If you know me, you know I love Cold War and I also love their shotguns, especially the Hauer. I mean, it's literally the best gun in that game. With that, I was very excited for this run. I knew what these guns could do, and I believed that we'd be about to be embarking on a great journey together. We clear out the early rounds and find the Hauer on the wall. We get it bought, and from here, I get the rest of the generators turned on. By the end of round 5, I must add. With the generators on, I got to grinding out points for pack-a-punch, which we had by the end of round 7. The following round, the Panzer didn't even stand a chance as the Hauer just wrecked them. Although he did scare the shit out of me whilst I grabbed Salmon up. Didn't expect him to be so close. With pack-a-punch open and the Panzer taken care of, the next thing to do was perks. And with no perk limit, I was free to grab whatever I wanted. Round 11, I'm at the box and it's now time to try and get some other shotguns. We have the Gallo, the Street Sweeper, the Marshalls, and maybe a couple others, but the one we get is the Gallo, and I gotta say this thing is insane. The roles for this run were flipped, to be honest, as well. In Cold War, the Hauer is the juicer, the damage dealer, and the Gallo is just there, but in Black Ops 3, it's definitely the other way around. The Gallo in this game has 0 trigger delay, so it fires as fast as I can click, so the gun fires pretty damn fast, and it also deals a decent chunk of damage, which means these zombies don't stand a chance. We had a Panzer to fight on round 13 and the Gallo with double tap just obliterated him. Didn't even give the poor bastard a chance, and even I was starting to get a bit scared of this gun. We got the Gallo upgraded shortly afterwards and I also picked myself up Mule Kick, where I then got the Marshall shotgun from the box, and this thing was just as ridiculous as the Gallo. With my guns and perks, I felt unstoppable, and to be honest, I kind of was. My guns just killed anything and everything that got close. It even got to a point where I got fed up of moving, so I just camped out at the bottom of one of the tunnels. Don't worry, as I did also grab one of the discs and the gramophone, so I had a way out if needed. Around 21, I got a little too close to the teleporter and off to the crazy place I went. I intended on heading straight back, but that is when I noticed that none of the walls were moving. I had a big open space, so I just trained in here instead. I genuinely didn't even know you could have the crazy place like this without doing the Easter egg. The next 10 rounds were laughably easy. All 3 of my guns just tore through everything with very little effort. Before I knew it, I I was reaching round 30. The Gallo and the Marshall were still going strong at this point. Unfortunately, the Hauer was struggling, but I wasn't worried yet. My guns churned out a few more rounds, and now I was sitting at round 34. And this round was disastrous. It starts off okay, we get a few nice drops, and we clear out a decent amount of zombies. But once they start respawning, things go bad, and they go bad quick. I get myself trapped, and before I know it, I downed. I revive and make it back to the main section of the map, and there was only one thing I wanted, which was a perkaholic. I tried to put a bit of distance between myself and the zombies, but it wasn't any good. I make it to the gobble machine, turn back, and start blasting, but there is way too many zombies, and I end up taking a second down, which ends up being my last. However, round 34 isn't the worst, but we still had one more round to go. We're ending with advanced warfare, and I'm not gonna lie, the only shotgun I knew about going into this one was the cauterizer. Completely forgot about literally every single other one. But you see, none of that mattered because we had the Tech 19 on the wall. Ooh, I know, stupid name, doesn't even sound like a shotgun. And things don't matter because of the gun. They don't matter because on round 3, I take it down. It's early game, so no worries, right? I pop an immolation so I can start spinning the box with the cauterizer. Spin after spin, no shotgun. But you know what there is? Death. That is right, I died on round 5. Now usually I wouldn't show you a run like this. I'd just pretend it didn't happen and go again. But you see, that's where the problem lies. This was, in fact, the last run of the day. The attempt needed for the video, and the reason why this was the last run is because the run prior to this was also Advanced Warfare. We got the Cauterizer, we got the Blunderbuss, we had an incredible time and got to round 37. But you know we don't have? The footage. Because I forgot to hit record like the idiot I am. And on that bombshell, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like and let me know what else you want to see from me. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.